back to tight end university, which is happening behind us. And at tight end, they're out here practicing on the field. You see Travis Kelce leading a drill right here, Dan. We saw already some really interesting stuff. You were a little closer to it.
Yeah.
You also sat in on a classroom earlier. What's been the conversation around here?
Yeah, I think that the big takeaway is there's just so much knowledge and wisdom and almost like obsession to detail that can get shared from these guys. Sitting in when George Kittle did a presentation, his was on mentality and standard, and he was sharing just some of the note cards that his tight ends coach, John Emery, shared with him when he was a younger player of just – and being removed from being a player for a couple years, you forget about all the details that go in to doing your job at the very highest level. And to hear a player like George Kittle, that is one of the very best, continue to talk about that stuff and then share that with so many of the guys here – it makes you fall in love with the game again. It also makes you realize how 80, 90 guys that play that position in this league come back to this event every year.
It means a lot to him. Let's talk a little bit more about George Kittle, who, of course, was the brainchild behind this event. And George Kittle, since his debut in 2017, no player, be it tight end, running back, or wide receiver, has gotten more out of the big plays than George Kittle. You see this. He's gone for at least 20 yards after the catch on 48 different receptions in his career, the most in the NFL in that span. Who's here? We got George Kittle, who really is responsible for all of this incredible tight end you. We've been talking a lot about the fact this started in 2021. Why did you want to get this going?
Really, it just started off as a random conversation between me and Greg Olson. It was the last game of the year of 2020. We weren't making the playoffs. And I was like, hey, Greg, I trained with like 10 guys down in Nashville, from Hawkinson to Tunyon, a couple other guys. Like, we'd love for you just to come down and like spend like a couple days with us, watch some film, give us some things like so we all take like another step in our careers, because he had a great one. If you play 14 years, you obviously do something right. Yeah. And then he was like, well, let's try to do a couple more guys, see if Travis is interested in doing it. So we shot a text to Travis. He was like, oh, weekend with the boys? Sounds great. I'm in. So that was the easiest ask of all time. And then we kind of got some marketing stuff behind it. We were anticipating like 15, 20 guys. Next thing we had 50 guys the first year.
Wow.
And we're like, all right, well, we have something pretty fun with this. And so then the year after that, I think we had 80. We're averaging between 70 to 90 guys every year.
This is awesome. I mean, it's so impressive to watch everybody run around. So you play for a great coach in Kyle, super smart. I actually got to sit in when you did a presentation today for about 15, 20 minutes. You kept talking about a coach, John Embry, I believe.
Yes.
Is there a guy here that has come to this for a couple years now? You're like, I want to see one day how that guy's going to be as a coach, a tight ends coach or something more. Who would you want to be that guy?
Oh, right now, the obvious choice would be Greg Olson, because he's literally our dad out there on the field. Travis will say the same thing. We call him Coach Dad, the way he yells at us. Dad. He'll yell at his kids the same way he yells at us. We're going through a warm-up.
He just yelled at his kids 10 minutes ago.
We were running through the warm-up drills, and he goes, hey, I just want to stop you guys for a sec. Only half you guys – and we're just doing a nice light warm-up, just get the body going with the football at the quarterbacks. Because only half you guys are tucking the football. Why would you not tuck the football every time you go through it? Stops the whole drill. It's just like, that is somebody that you want. I mean, I was a great coach for his kids, but he's a great coach for everyone out here too. So I think he's number one choice.
You see why the greatness was something that's synonymous with his name. All right, now there's yellow jerseys out here. You got some QBs, but we have a QB right here. I'm curious, why did Orlovsky not get the call? Like, he can throw it a little bit still.
The littlest bit.
We reached out, and he said he was working today. He said he couldn't make it. He said he was a little bit busy. But, just as an honorary, we thought we'd give you a highlighter.
Let's go.
And used shirts, just so you feel like you're a part of the family.
I finally get to feel like part of the group. I saw Fitzy wearing his, so.
Fitz showed up just this morning just to throw for us today.
Listen, if you're giving me, I want to throw some today, though.
You can hop out there whenever you want.
Let's do it.
It gives you an excuse to get off the set.
And now you can't get hit. You might have gotten hit.
Oh, no. Gronk will hit you.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll find a way.
Yeah, Gronk will find a way to hit you.
I'm going to put this on. I'm going to throw it a little bit today.
I can't wait.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mentioned Kyle.
Yeah.
So everyone talks about how smart Kyle is, rightfully so, and how much he helps guys succeed, right?
Sure.
As the tight end in that offense, though, what's the most challenging part of being in that offense?
I think the two things that stick out to me right away is you're responsible for a lot of one-on-ones in the outside zone. And that's anywhere from Von Miller's.
So you're blocking the best defensive ends in football by yourself.
One-on-ones. And, we don't try to always do that. You see a lot of the stuff me and Juice do together where we're, kind of double teaming an end off to a corner or a safety. But there's just times where, you're required just to do that. And then throughout my career, I've at least done, a handful of one-on-one pass pros versus these defensive ends as well who get paid $35 million to rush the quarterback. And I do not get paid $35 million to protect the quarterback. I'm not Trent Williams, but I try my best out there. So we just get left on an island sometimes. But I love that challenge because as a tight end, we're the only position that gets to do everything. Catch, block, pass pro. You see tight ends throw the football, like kind of do everything. And so I just want to be great at all those things. And so it gives me an opportunity to be great at those things.
We saw Brock Purdy finally get paid.
Finally.
Yeah. How excited are you for him and your entire offense, but led by him going into this next season?
I'm really excited. I think I've had going into my 9th year, and I've had 8 off seasons with quarterback controversy at some point.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's always really fun. It's always enjoyable. And so to have like kind of a calmer off season where you can all the boys are at OTAs, all the boys are hanging out, playing football, thinking football. It's just way more. Your mind's just at ease. You're not thinking about all that stuff. I do have to air some dirty laundry with Brock.
What do you got?
He's supposed to be here today, and
on, Brock.
instead he's golfing with. Now, granted, it was a charity thing. He did something with Tim Tebow's foundation, which is fantastic. I'm happy for him. And they auctioned off a round of golf with Brock Purdy like months ago.
Yep.
They scheduled it for today at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
They did not consult you.
And I asked
What was
Brock,
the phone call like from him?
Oh, no. So he told me it was a charity golf tournament. He's like, I can't move it. I'm like, oh, it's a whole thing. I get it. And then 2 weeks ago, he's like, oh, no, it's just like one round of golf and they're flying in for it. I'm like, so you could have done it on Monday or Wednesday.
Uh-oh,
teed
Brock.
off at 9 a.m.
Hey, I'm here, though.
Brock, you don't get a shirt this year. You don't get anything.
This is a very poor man's Brock Purdy.
Brock,
right
take
here,
the
so-
money. I'll take the jersey. Golden era, kind of like of tight ends right now in the NFL. It
I
feels
agree.
like there's so many good players, and you kind of hinted on it, like how, guys have to be able to do so much nowadays. Is that your vision of the league as a whole? Is like my perception of tight ends are it's the only position as an offensive person I could put on the field that I dictate to the defense who you put on the field.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on just as a whole the tight end group in the league?
I would say one of my favorite things to look back on is if you look at the past 10 Super Bowl winners, every team has either a Gronk, a Kelsey, Dallas Goedert. Like you have an elite tight end playing that makes plays for you throughout the whole season, throughout the playoffs, throughout the Super Bowl. You have guys that make plays. And so I just think guys saw, Gronk and the Patriots win all these championships. Right? We need to invest a little bit more time in these tight ends, maybe get them some more ops. So I just think offenses have seen success of other teams using their tight ends so much. And now they're like, oh, we're going to try using them too. And now you see all these tight ends from every team. The Ravens have a great tight end room. They got, Charlie Kolar, Isaiah Likely, and Mark Andrews, 3 great tight ends.
Yeah.
And so you building these rooms of the tight ends. Now you can go 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 13, 22, all these personnels with multiple tight ends. And that's the best way to play the game.
You're speaking our language. Okay, really fast. We saw Travis Kelce out here looking a little skinny. He's. Did you give him a hard time?
Oh,
People are
absolutely
going to
not.
start calling him Skinny Kelce.
I'm pretty sure one of the Super Bowls that they won, I saw in the previous offseason, and he was 280 pounds. And then they won it. I think he was first team All-Pro and won a Super Bowl. So, he's going to be ready for the season regardless of what it is. He does look great right now, and I love having him out here. I'm missing what he's saying in there right now because I'm hanging out with a retired quarterback.
Sorry about
but
that.
No, I don't blame you. I blame him.
I'll take the blame as long as can I unretire for the day?
Yeah, of course you can.
I'll be by
One day
far the
contract.
worst quarterback that's ever thrown.
I can't wait
One
for
day,
this.
you'd be surprised. 1 day contract, tight end university.
Done.
Let's go. It's official now. George Kittle, thanks so much for joining us, and we just love what you're doing here.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
awesome,
awesome.
man.
It's so
Thanks,
fun
guys.
to be here.